My second memories, all those memories that do not have deep learning, but in this whole series of childhood memories, you will find many learnings, not only from my childhood, by the way, from your childhood also, but it's all about, are you accepting silence inside and outside to access those wisdom or access those stories? My second memory, I was, for the first time, I met my dad in consciousness, even though I was with him, but for the first time, maybe I was 6 to 7 years old, and it was night. We were sleeping in the same home there, which I explained in my first memory. And suddenly, someone knocked the door in the middle of the night. I opened my eyes. I saw my mother wearing sari, can't remember the color, and she had a glass in her hand, a steel glass, a water glass. And first she ran all the way to open the door, and then she came back, and I was just following my mother, and she took the water, and then I saw the door is open, and one gentleman, 6 feet tall, dark in color, holding a gun on the shoulder, and with one hand a trunk, a army trunk, a big container, very big, which one person cannot hold. So there has to be another person on the other side of the trunk who is outside the door. And I saw my mummy coming, my mother giving water to my dad, waiting to give a water to my dad. And then I slept. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sirs and madams, and irrespective of the genders, because I remember meeting someone very recently in Himachal, and she's a transgender. So every time when I say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sirs and ma'ams, I remember that girl who is feminine by choice. The reason why you have to collect stories from your childhood, because all these stories is a part of your consciousness. I remember listening to a very interesting story from my mother about her mother. I was playing with her stomach on the bed. Maybe I was 6, 7 years old. And in the night, when I was just playing with her on the bed, and I had a habit of just playing with her, chilling with her, chilling with her, playing with her. And I asked one very interesting question: where is my grandmother? Where is she? And for the first time, she said, Praveen, I lost her very early in my life. I've never seen her at the age of 3. I just lost it. I'd never seen her. I remember traveling with my mama in 2019, a solo trip, me and mama. And we went to her village. We took a flight from Mumbai to Nagpur, and then from Nagpur to certain villages. And her village is her school and this and that. And we were in the process of finding, I was in the process of finding the photo of my grandmother for my mother. So we went to home to home, home to home, and after chilling, it's like they were so happy that after many years, my mother left her home very many years ago because she wanted to give a better education to both the kids, and she wanted to put her in English medium. And my grandfather, that's my father's father, and my grandmother, my father's mother, they were not in the favor of sending the kids to the English medium school, and my mother said no, not at all. So the very language, the love for this language came very early in my life because my mother always wanted me to speak in English, 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 English. So my mother said that day on the bed, no, I've never seen her. But I remember one day, just few days after that episode, when I made this in my mind that okay, my grandmother is not there, not there. And she was sitting at home along with some other ladies, and I was just sitting there listening to them, listening to them. And suddenly they started talking about ghost. And my mother said, even I have a ghost story. They were cleaning the food and rice in the small plate. They were taking the small stones out of the rice. So what we used to do is, like, in case if you have a 50 kg of rice, to clean the rice, they used to invite all the ladies there at home, and they used to chill and they talk. So it's like helping and chilling. I was listening, and she said, my mother, to other ladies, maybe she didn't notice that I'm listening, and she said, I saw my mother one day when I was in 10th standard. My eyebrows rose like this. I said, really? And she said, I was going from one village to another village. My mother was the first girl from that small village called Taroda, hardly 500 people in that village population. We went there when we did that solo trip. And she had to go to another village because she was the first lady to pass 10th standard, and there was no schooling beyond 10th standard in that school, in that village. And she said, I was going to school one day, it was Sunday, and suddenly I saw one lady standing tall, wearing white color sari, open hairs with a red color teak on it, and it was around 12 o'clock in the day, and she was calling me like this. And she said she was my mother. Very early in my life, the concept of ghost entered in my consciousness, and which was beautifully painted by Bollywood, that ghosts are already always there to kill you or harm you. It took me 18 years to stop bedwetting because I never used to go out to empty my bladder. But have you ever thought, when a boy wet the bed for 18 years, how the boy will be treated by the society?